We're going to do a quick review on mixed numbers and improper fractions and how to convert them from one to the other. So we remember that a mixed number is when we have a whole number as well as a fraction, like this. So this number represents 3 wholes and then 2/5 of a fraction. Now we know that each of these wholes has 5 pieces in it because the denominator always stays the same. So when I look at my picture below here, if I were to color it in to represent 3 wholes and 2/5, I would color this whole fraction in, and this whole fraction in, and this whole fraction in, and that would represent my 3 wholes. And then on my remaining fraction, I would color in 2/5, and that would represent my 2 out of 5, which is how I get a whole number of 3 and 2/5. So that's a whole number. An improper fraction is when I count all of the individual pieces together. So in that case, what I would do is I would look at how many individual pieces are colored in the first one here, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 here, I have 5 here, I have 5 here, and then I have 2 colored in on the last one. And now I want to know how many I have colored in all together, so I'm going to add them up. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 5 more is 15, plus 2 more is 17. So that means my numerator, or the number of pieces I'm counting, is 17. And then my denominator is how many pieces are in each. And I know that I have 5. Okay? So as an improper fraction, this fraction would be represented as 17 over 5 here. And as a mixed number, it would be represented as 3 wholes and 2/5 there. Now we're going to review how to convert between these two sets of fractions. So if I start with my mixed number, 3 and 2/5, and I want to turn it into an improper fraction, okay, I'm going to take my whole number and I'm going to multiply it by my denominator. So in that case, that's 3 times 5. My whole number is 3, my denominator is 5. That's going to give me 15. And that means I have dealt with this number, and I've dealt with this number, and I still have to deal with this one. So just like we did in our picture, once we calculated what all 3 of these were, we took the remaining 2 and we added them. So here we've done 3 times 5 to calculate how many parts are in the whole, and now we're just going to add the 2 that are left over in our fraction, and that's going to give us 17 out of 5. Okay, so once again, 3 and 2/5 is equal to 17/5. Now if we go the other way, if we have 17 over 5 and we need to turn that into a mixed number, okay, we're going to do the reverse. So when we do a mixed number to an improper fraction, we multiply, which means when we're going from an improper fraction to a mixed number, we're going to divide. So the first thing we do is we see how many times our denominator can divide into our numerator. So if I put 5 into 17, I know that that can go in 3 times, okay? Because when I do 3 times 5, I get 15. If I do 3 times 4, I get 20, and 20 is too high. I can only go as high as 17. So 5 goes into 17 3 times. That gives us our whole number. And then we have to see what the difference is between how many pieces we have in our whole and how many pieces we have in our numerator. So we know that we have 3 wholes, which means we have 15 pieces. We need to get to 17. So what's the difference between 15 and 17? Well, we can do 17 minus 15, which would give us 2, or we can count up from 15, 16, 17, and that's 1 more, 2 more. So either way, we're left with 2/5. Okay? And that's your review on calculating mixed numbers to improper fractions and improper fractions to mixed numbers.